Clicking the button is to show live. It's Tuesday of October. Nope, November.
The 4th.
4th, 2014. Yes, Katie's here.
Hey, everybody.
I'm here. It's Shanahanigans Live. It's season 4. What's that? 3 years and starting a 4th? Why not? Sing along. If you're new to the show, I'm sorry. Ray.
Is it broadcasting?
It's time for
Shanahanigans.
If you're new to the show, as I say again, welcome. There's another verse of that. Brace yourselves. Share it with your friends. Pull out the headphones and be like, look, family and friends and roommates, join me. It's recorded.
It's broadcasting.
It's time for
Shanahanigans Live.
This is the part of the song where I explain what we do each time on the show. But during the song, I have to find out in advance. Katie, what are you doing this week?
I'm not sure yet. I'm just waiting for tea to brew.
Katie's waiting for tea to brew. And she's leaving. What are you doing?
Closing the door.
We have so much time to prepare this show. Tea to brew. You guys can get tea too if you're at home. That's a live bar where you're like, can I order a tea? And they're like, no, we serve alcoholic drinks and possibly water. We should make some nice tea. I suggest my suggestion for the season. No, I haven't got any seasonal tea for. What is November considered like? Kind of cold.
What was that?
Unfortunately, you guys are here to hear all this, but welcome to season 4. Off of my game because I talked way too long. Anyway, it's recording. It's time
Shenanigans Live. Oh boy.
Plenty of time for you guys to get home from work, or whatever you do, stop eating your dinners, and join us for the 5-minute intro.
Hooray!
I think we're going to expand it to be like a musical. We're going to have like to throw things at their screen like it's Rocky Horror. It's like when it's time for them, like you get your clocks and whip them at your computers and stuff. You know? No, not happening.
And then everybody has to say exactly what they're up to in between.
Yeah.
And everybody gets a turn.
I want all you we're gonna use this season 4 Shanahanigans Live. First of all, welcome, the weekly show where Katie and I teach you all about the ins and outs of the limited information we have on the animation, comic, video, game, arts, and creativity industry. Katie is, if you're just starting, because we're starting a new playlist, Katie's this renowned worldwide storyboard artist.
Well, in Canada.
And Canadian renowned worldwide storyboard artist, dominating the industry. Myself, I've had my ups and downs. But I write a thing or two. I'll make a joke, give it to you to read and to drop. So as you can see, we have both spectrums on this show. So if you guys have questions for how to make it or how to fail in industry, ask our show and we can both answer it with accuracy and ease.
I don't think people want how to fail advice. Just to say that failure is all part of the process.
Right. All right. It's all yes. It's first yes. That thing you said. But if you do have questions during the show, of course we do have the Q&A. I was gonna say chat, but it's no longer chat. Q&A in the Google chat. What? Is there any better time to? You know what you're doing.
What?
You know what you're doing this episode.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna ink Silly Kingdom.
Good. Your decision on what to do during the show is the same as my lyrics. Not planned, but they're still great. I hope. So if you have questions during the show, it's a new season as Free Talking 657 addresses with 3+ votes. That is the highest vote of this season. If you can beat 3 votes in our Q&A, you win. You win the season. Right now, I'm calling it. Season 4 is yours. So good job, Free Talking, but soon you will be usurped. But the point is, if you guys have questions and stuff, that helps drive the show, because right now we got nothing. So we're just here to talk about stuff we've read, stuff we've done, how Halloween went, blibbity blah.
Well, I was just going to quickly say, like, I just started reading this before the show started.
Oh, shit, is that book 3?
Yeah, LA Hawkeye LA woman about Kate Bishop running around in LA, and it's so good.
Nice, nice, nice.
I love it. The writing is amazing, and there's like some of the art is just super fun, expressive, and yeah, it's fun. I'm almost done it, so you can have it.
Awesome. I'm really liking it. Quickly, before we get into comic talk, I just want to answer one more thing in the Q&A. We got Doris Garcia asking, hey, Shag, have you done another Yamina? If you guys don't know, we'll get to that in a sec. Since the last one, I was the villain whose plans were foiled, but I got away. The dice were on my side. So we haven't yet. If you're curious what we're talking about, Yamina is the the three outcomes of rolling the dice in an RPG, D&D type adventure I take you guys on sometimes if Katie's not around to do a show. I haven't done one since. Even the solo shows I have done, I just haven't planned in advance that we were going to do one, so I didn't know if people would be around to do it. Considering that most people kind of like stumble in a good like 5-10 minutes after the theme song, it's kind of hard to start like a D&D adventure if there's no one around, so I didn't actually do anything without planning for it properly, even though it's all improvised anyway. And I just need a dice and you guys and a bunch of paper and a pencil. But we haven't done one since. We may do one in the new season. We may do it even better, which I doubt is possible because on Google Plus, nothing is better. It's kind of the lag and the delay in the chat and stuff makes it kind of difficult. But we persevere. We will try. Once again, if you guys have just watched the show, joining us, if you have access to your Google Plus, if you have access to that, you can go to the Q&A section and ask questions, and we can answer them. You can also vote on people's questions, so if you think someone's question is not getting the due respect, not getting the attention it deserves, as in being answered, you can vote it up, and I may notice it, and then you can win the episode. So good luck with that. Otherwise, we're just going to run about comics and things, and Halloween, of course. I hope you all had a grand Halloween. Our traditional Canadian Halloween, of course, is rain and cold.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while.
And no one coming to your door because your neighborhood's too old. We had ourselves a little Halloween shit day. Katie was kind enough to host the last minute. No costume, no options, no bother. Come to our Halloween party. All while we also tended to the door, which only rang 3 times.
But those kids were very well taken care of. Let me tell you.
3 fistfuls of candy. Because when the doorbell rang, everyone screams and runs down the stairs. And you're like, ah!
I felt kind of bad because it's like this whole house full of like adults just running to the door like, oh my god, which has got to be intimidating. But then it was like when they got the handfuls of candy, they were really excited. And then there was like the 3rd and 4th handful of candy, and it was just like they were like, "Nah, this is a trick. You're gonna take it all away. This is a dream."
Yeah, no, it was really fun up there.
10 door knocks. Was about it.
We had 10?
Yeah, if even.
3.
No, there was.
How much of that pumpkin whiskey did I have? I don't remember the other ones.
Yeah, there was like maybe just under 10.
I think maybe only 3 I ran down for then. Only 3 times I was able to run down to a door.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's cool then. All right, well I feel a little better.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It was rainy, but you guys, if you're in the chat right now, tell us what you did for Halloween. Make this one of those interactive shows, where people get involved. It's not just us treading water for hours, being like, you almost did a trailer for that thing. All right, well, this is gonna be like an hour-long show. But and also be sure to draw. We're here to help you guys if you have questions.
Yeah, I'm just down here drawing. I don't have a setup where I can share what I'm up to because this. Well, I mean, I guess I could tilt a little bit, but. Maybe that kind of works. Can I even?
You're like tilting your whole computer. Maybe just show us every now and then. Give us updates.
You're just gonna look at the top of my head when we work.
Okay. We got carbon-based biped with a vote of 1, which I think is default. But anyway, saying our Halloween in Utah used to be cold and snowy with no kids, but now they're warm, sunny, and have tons of kids. So just wait, global warming will eventually set you up. Yes, if there's one thing to be grateful about. Global warming will make Halloween. Well, wouldn't it then just rain more because there'd be more water to evaporate and then more rain during Halloween? I don't know. Maybe that's just my logic. Depends on which side of the mountain you're on, I guess. But there's that. So congratulations to that. What'd you guys dress up as? I assume you're all creative types who do not fear the cosplay. Cosplay. As people say, Halloween's the day that everyone gets to cosplay, which is cool.
Yeah.
Just come out to more conventions. You can always you don't really have to cosplay conventions. Just dress up. Make every day a convention. So
yeah. Find some way to incorporate your favorite characters into your daily attire.
Yeah. Sounds great. Sounds good. If we're just gonna see your head, you should almost like screen share like a picture of you drawing.
That's what I mean. Like it's kind of like not.
Why don't you like do a screen share of a quick image of you drawing, and just like leave it there, and then anytime you want to show us something, you can switch your camera back.
I guess I could do that.
So you have no idea where that Logitech camera went? Is that?
0. It's somewhere in that closet. Like let me show you guys what's going on with that closet.
I don't know.
This is my art supply. Still need to be organized. It's like I got the posters and the drawing paper and bags, and it's problematic.
And you guys thought your closet.
You could also just stick the camera on you for the
Yeah,
little
but
bit.
they're just looking at me, and they're like, "Who's that other voice?"
Yeah, but you're really animated and chatty.
Not really. My hat is. My eyes. Like these days, I've lost my youth. No, just quickly, like, just do like a really quick Photoshop or whatever. Export it as a JPEG. Full screen that bad boy. Screen share that bad boy. Boom. Katie's a drawer.
Super quick, draw something.
Yeah. That won't crash the computer.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, we got a couple things here. We got Free Talking 657. With a vote of 2, you're getting there. You haven't beat 3 yet. You're getting close. Say, my sister and I would wear masks and coats to tromp through the snow of Halloween, then go home and switch out the coats and masks for different ones to hit the same houses again.
Ah, smart.
And here's the question. Do you think the neighbors knew? And they're like, oh, it's the Free Talking kids again. Oh, boy. Give them another pumpkin. We have nothing else to hand out. I don't know what it was like over there, but yeah, that's a good trick, though. I like that. That'd be interesting, like, if you lived, like, off where there's only, like, one house, like, miles away. Like all those farming movies where it's like, go tell the neighbors, and he gets on the bike and he's gone for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Now I imagine that's like what the setup is. We got Courtney Lund saying, I didn't do anything this Halloween, but I will be cosplaying Kiki for Fanfare Geek Fest this weekend. Oh, Kiki's Delivery Service, that is? Yes! It's one of my favorite Miyazaki films, right after Princess Mononoke. Boom. I'm still not sure what my third favorite is, though. It's tricky. It's Trixie. Yeah. That's cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Kiki you're talking about, right, though? Not some other Kiki. No. Very cool. Oh, are you screen sharing? Are you allowed to see guys screen share? Is the computer going to crash? Oh, my God.
Oh, that's exciting.
It's exclusive.
I'm looking for my non-crashing art program.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, we'll stick with that. If you guys are also watching, because I know there's a couple of you, get over on the Google Plus during the Q&A. Tell us what you did for Halloween, even if it was not interesting. Katie's going to draw quickly a picture of her drawing things, just so we have something to look at.
I forgot what that program's called. Sketchbook. Yeah, that's it.
Alright. That should do. Actually, I don't know if you're going to try to get into Manga Studio or whatever it's called. Huge sale right now, 90% off.
Oh yeah, is that still going on?
I think it just started like yesterday or today. So make a note right now. If you want to try it, it's 90 off apparently.
I've been curious.
Yeah. So you can check that out for cheapsies. We got Courtney also saying it's a triple tie for Kiki, Mononoke, and Nausicaa. Still haven't watched Nausicaa. I've read it, and I fear watching it because the book is so good. And I worry that the movie will condense my favorite parts. So many good moments. But I should still see it someday. I've been meaning to.
Mm-mm.
Any luck with your art software?
There we go.
Hey, now Katie's going to draw herself drawing while she should actually be drawing something else, but that's cool. Oh, nice. It's got thickness detection. All right. If you guys have questions about drawing, you have about 10 more seconds to ask as our art demo takes place. As you can see, you want to rough it out and then leave it the way it is and not bother touching up. The shadows and the highlights, of course, are the most important part for defining. See, we got some nice texture there. You want also to define your horizon, just so you know what the angle is. And of course, your 3 points, just as all good film directors know, your 3 points of focus and perspective. The muscle system, of course, we all learn because how can you learn to draw people if you don't learn to draw people?
Exactly.
As you can see, contortion, like it's all within. It's got to be believability, props. And
tweak this a little bit.
Sometimes you gotta fix things. Don't be afraid to step back a step. Destroy your favorite things in life is what all artists say. That's art is misery, is what they say, and when you draw for a living, you're miserable for a living, as you can see, the drawing portrays. And I think that's a solid 10
There you
points.
go. Yeah. All right.
And that's our Shanahagan Lives educational portion of the show. If you want to learn to draw, rewatch that
again and again.
A couple times. Excellent. Meanwhile, Katie, why is it like a magnifying glass? What is that? Is that like
this guy?
Yeah. What is that thing?
Oh, it's brush resizing. You drag it, and it's like blur.
That's fun. So do you have to always go to the disc to dip your pen?
With this one, you do.
That's hilarious.
This program. It's the setup's a little simpler, kind of.
Yeah.
I prefer to be able to just tweak it with a brush number, but it's designed that everything you use is on the desktop.
Right, and it's all like additive layers, and like you keep drawing, it gets darker.
Mm-hmm.
Is that permanent or is that an option?
For what?
I have no idea. We got Yaiba Saya saying, "What is drawing?" Katie.
I don't know. Somebody tell me.
Is not drawing the visual re-representation of the existing content in life manipulated on the textile, inks, and other forms of media arts?
Sure.
Or is it a silly doodle that gets us the monies?
Why can't it be all these things?
Got Matthew Pachard saying about Halloween, I did some dressing up and some drawing. Nice. I had to go to bed early. I was visiting a colleague. Is it a college or colleague? A college the next morning. Or colleague at college. Or collage.
A collegiate colleague.
Sometimes you gotta visit a collage. That's cool. I wish most of my script software had better spell checking, because I am bad at it.
That's how you get better, though.
Alicia Denang saying I could still to this day, I can't spell neighborhood properly. That's like, there's 3 words that are forever in my brain. Neighborhood, silhouette.
No, it's neighborhood.
And silhouette.
Well, that one's hard. I mean, that's why you check first.
And there's another one, definite. Because it's either definite or definite.
It's definite.
Definite, yeah. And spell check always doesn't know what to do with it. It's like dodgeball. Like I don't know, it doesn't know. It keeps going.
It's a dodgeball.
So I'm like, it's definite, not definite. Alicia Dang saying I sat around doing homework till later when a friend came over and caught up on cartoons.
Yeah, it's fun.
Speaking of cartoons to catch up, my review of Korra. Ah!
Yeah. So good.
This season, if there is a park for a ball to be knocked out of, it's knocked out of 3 of them. Because this season of Korra is jaw-dropping. It is so good. It is the best series. Why is Nickelodeon so rude? It is great.
Mm-hmm.
If you want narrative in your animation, this is where it's at. It's not like, oh, it's subtle little stories in the background that you build up. No! This is story front and center. Right?
Exactly.
Good. But, oh, we can't pick a best of episode to sell on a DVD. Where's the Christmas special? Ugh. Korra doesn't need none of that. It's best.
There's something I heard, I'm just going to pop back to face for a second while I talk. Oh gosh, what's the name of this Kickstarter? So there was a Kickstarter I just backed, and I have to remember what the name is. Maybe somebody in the chat knows, but it's a animation being run by a guy who was like an art director or director, storyboard artist on like the Boondocks and Korra and Afro Dynamite and all those movies. Those really cool, high-end, really well-animated shows, and he's kickstarting his own pilot for a series that he's working on for a kind of manga, anime-esque action-adventure show. And as he was describing, it's really hard in LA as well, which seems to be kind of our hub in North American animation, but it's hard there to get anything made for like a teenage audience because there's a lot of sitcom stuff, there's a lot of preschool stuff, a lot of kid stuff, but if you want to make something a bit older, like a Korra or something like that, where it's like an action adventure, it's looking like it's now up to the artists to make it themselves.
Yeah.
So he quit his job at Warner Bros. And now he's trying to kickstart this series he's working on. I think his name is Lee Sean Thomas. I'm not 100% I'm gonna search it up and let you guys know about it because the Kickstarter looks really awesome. But yeah, it seems like more and more I'm hearing about people creating their own projects on Kickstarter if they want to make a show that's not necessarily for younger kids or sitcoms or stuff like that.
So and that's always been my concern, like with me pursuing writing and stuff. I've always felt I don't write anything that's viable, and it's not like an intentional, like I'm going outside the box, man. It's just like in my mind, I can't write for a specific audience to be like, oh, this is for boys age 13 to 15. Like and this happens, and at beginning, middle, end, like it's like I don't. In my mind, it doesn't work that way, and I know it kind of has to if you want like this viability, if you want this network commercial structure. And like it's not even saying anything against that either. It's just like that's just I've never been comfortable with like thinking in that format. It's not just, growing for me. So like so I'm curious about like what is and once you do kickstart your series, is that enough money to do the whole thing, or will it be?
Well, that would be a lot of money because it seems like just making the pilot is super crazy expensive. Like I don't know if do you know about Urbance?
Actually, Matthew Pichard just said the Kickstarter show you're talking about is called Urbance. If that is.
That's actually not it. I was just about to bring that up.
The Canadian-Japanese co-production, that one?
Yeah, it's made in Montreal, and they have they're working with artists in Japan to animate it. One guy is a Ghibli studio artist, so that's pretty fancy. Like I was just gonna say that it was 63 hours, and they were like.
It was a good 40.
It didn't look like they were going to make it. They were like $50,000 away from their goal, like $60,000 away from their goal, and it just didn't look good. And today they made it. It just kind of
sweet.
Because everybody was like, guys, you can't just not let this get funded. This is ridiculous. And everybody jumped on it and shared it. And like I was actually worried they weren't going to make it, but then within a day, everybody just kind of pitched in what little they could, and now it's going to be a pilot. But they needed $189,000 to make a pilot, and that's just to show around. So a series you can imagine will be significantly more expensive than that for a 24 or a 12 episode arc. Like TV is expensive, and that's why they have to be so. That's why networks are so just. Okay, we have to know exactly what this is, who it's for, because it can't fail for how expensive it is, especially like the action adventure shows that so much effort goes into.
Yeah. Well, this is also why when you're watching web content, I know you guys hate your ads and stuff, but like when you keep using an ad blocker, that does screw over the creators in like the only other free means they have to show you their content. It was like I know you hate the same 15-second ad every time on YouTube, but like if you're not like don't click on them, whatever. But like I don't know if there's a difference between clicks and just views, but like
I found it.
Ad block all the websites you actually are on. That's the revenue for the web. This is why newspapers are in trouble, because people don't want to pay for newspapers, but people also don't want to see ads. And it's like, what do you do? What else do you do? Where else do you go? Oh, is this the thing?
This is the other one I mentioned, Cannon Busters. This is the one the guy's making a series.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'm really looking forward to that steampunk one, though, from the another anime, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah, was it Hullabaloo? Was that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that looks really cute.
Yeah. Quickly, let's go back in the chat. We got Tyler Mann saying, "Yeah, made it to season 4. Awesome.
Welcome
to the show." I also know you have your show coming up is a Frostbite, I believe. Is that this weekend? Your musical for zombies in Canada-ness? If that's the event that Courtney was talking about, it's Con Bravo has another event that's at where the DoubleTree was. They renamed it, I think. I am completely out of touch with all this stuff because I cannot go to any shows at the moment, so I'm just like I haven't really been on the up and up. But if that show is this weekend and you're going this weekend, go check out that show. Information at that thing. I'm not good at promotion. Frost, look up Frost. Tyler can correct me on better ways to look up at things. Fandom musicals too, of course. That might be a way to find it. We got Yaiba saying Cannon Buster. I'm not sure what that's in relation to.
That's what I was just talking about.
Okay, cool. I'm not good at names. See, they just disappear from my head.
I think I just told you it like a minute ago.
As soon as you talked about it, I was like, I'm thinking of a steampunk thing. Are you drawing again? Because you didn't leave your picture.
Oh, I lost it.
Yeah.
Draw a picture.
I'll just go on mute for a second. Going back to Cora, we got Alicia Dunhang saying, Cora has been so good this season. Agreed. Courtney also saying, I've been so surprised with Cora this season and last. The bad guys are so good, especially this season. This is phenomenal. I am loving it. Tyler, coming in to rescue his reputation because I am butchering things, says, yes, Frostbite, a Canadian zombie musical, is this Saturday at 6:30 at International Plaza. It's hilarious. There's blood, there's zombies and songs, and it's awesome. So if you're going to the name of the event, which eludes me, but Superfan Fun Times at the International Plaza, which I believe was previously the Doubletree out on Dixon Road, where Anime North is hosted each year, be sure to check out the musical.
Nice, sounds great.
Yeah, I would love to go to some of these more like the events throughout the year, but I just haven't had time, and there's always something on a Saturday happening, so I haven't been able to. Like, I didn't get to go to Game Jam, and that was like the last Game Jam ever, I think, as far as the people running it are concerned. Really done. And the previous years were fun because one year I got to see a screening of the Phoenix Wright film in like a full audience on the university campus, which was really cool because it was like subtitled, and it's honestly one of the best video game adaptation to movies I've ever seen. So if you have a chance, check out the Phoenix Wright live-action film. It is glorious. We got Yaiba saying, between Urbance and Cannon Buster, I'm going broken on Kickstarter.
I know, me too.
Yeah, I haven't done too many Kickstarters outside of, well, we can segue with this one, but I'll quickly read some of these before. Remind me, Kickstarter segue. And Tyler also corrects, Fanfare 2 it's called, so check out Fanfare 2 this weekend. Carbon-based biped saying, I went trick-or-treating with my niece, Elsa, and nephew, Fireman. They got tired, so I carried both of them. My niece's costume got glitter all over me, and my nephew kept blowing his fireman whistle in my ear. They got away with it because they gave me candy.
Aw, you're good, auntie.
Shablams! That's like just my confirmation of the story. Courtney also says, Fanfare Geek Fest too. Courtney, I believe you have a table there, correct, Amondos? You're going to be shelling out some 3DS cases and stuff, I believe. So if you look up the Courtney table, I don't know if it's called.
I need to look into this. I mean, I don't own a 3DS yet, but
yeah.
Someday I will want one, and I want some pretty art on it. Possibly to make it look like a Sailor Mercury communication device, because that's what I
suggest get the blue 3DS and somehow embroider it with like a gold Mercury symbol.
Oh, yeah.
And you're dancing, so you could be like, I'm detecting things! And Lumpy Luna can show up and like tell you all about it.
Oh, yeah, you can tell me all about it.
I think Katie and I officially stopped watching the Sailor Moon Crystal.
Yeah,
we just can't. We just can't.
I want to give it a chance, but just the animation critic in me is just like,
We gave it so many chances. Oh,
that
mercy.
said, I'm enjoying just seeing little differences. I like the little story differences. I'm like, oh, that's nice. There's some pretty stuff. The Christmassy villain background music is really nice. I like that.
Well, I love when she's transforming. It's like, oh, it's like this choir, and you're like, it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's adorable.
You know, like that, right?
I think it's just I'll probably
Wait for the highlight reel.
Yeah. There's just so much. There's so little time. There's so many things to watch. It's if you're not 100%, you just like focus on the things you're really into. Because I don't want to badmouth it. If I'm not really into it, I'm just gonna maybe stop watching it. Yeah,
we'll just stick with Cora for now. Quickly, Courtney says, Katie, I totes have a Mercury skin for 3DS.
Yeah.
Segway Kickstarter? That's a reference to the thing I wanted to be reminded of. Also, if you're looking at Courtney, her Facebook page is designs by Corky Lutton. So if you want a 3DS case, cover, or thing, check that action out. Lots to choose from. Right, so, Segway Kickstarter, boom! Bee and Puppy Cat, this week, I do believe, Thursday. If you joined the Kickstarter they held, I do believe you get to see it earlier, around 7 p.m. Eastern. You get to see the premiere of the new Bee and Puppy Cats online at, I assume, Cartoon Hangover or whatever they're doing. I'm excited. I don't remember what level of Kickstarter I supported, but I do know I'm getting something. not a plushie because the shipping was really expensive for those, and I already bought a puppy cat down at Comic-Con anyway, or Emerald City. So I'm set.
That's kind of the thing. I support so many American Kickstarters, and it's like, add $15 for shipping. I'm just like,
yeah. It's like you have to pick a separate level. It's like, oh, here's the Canadian tier. Yeah, stupid shipping prices.
I know
that paying all too well. But that being said, like certain shipping still surprises me. Like when if you all this awesome figurines and stuff coming out from like Bandai and like your Figmas and your whatever the other ones are. Yeah, sure, Figmas and Nendroids, and it's like you can order them from online and other shops and stuff. But I found out surprisingly they're the cheapest I've seen was on Amazon, and it's shipped in like 2 days, and I didn't ask for like special shipping. I was just like, get here whenever you get here, and then the box shows up like in 2 days. I'm like, oh, okay. But I think it's because like the official Amazon, like Mississauga actually, which is one city over from here, is like where the headquarters is, like the warehouse is for Amazon. So on a DVD, it like shows up like that day, even if you don't order like special ordering.
There's some perks to living in the big city.
Yeah, I know. Or next to the smaller but big city.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're just like, here you go, have your thing. I'm like, oh, nice. That works out for me. I don't know how I got to that tangent. But yes, being Puppy Cat, I forget what I ordered. I might be in the credits. I don't know. Was that one of the options, or is that a different one?
Are you a character?
No, I don't think that. But like, I know some Kickstarters are like, you could be in the credits for $30. I don't know if I went that, but I may have gotten a Blu-ray if that was an option. I don't remember what the options were. It's been so long. That's fair because animation takes a while to make. I'm excited. Any more animation that can turn the world to be like, oh yeah, animation is for everybody and like all different tastes and stuff. It doesn't have to be.
It's really exciting. There's so much great stuff out.
Yes. Speaking of which, I know last week we talked about I was working on like an animation pitch type thing. I have no additional news on it.
Okay. I thought you were.
I spent the day revising on my next script, revising what the pilot. Originally, this episode was supposed to be like episode 6, but because of this bang, zap, pow, boom, fast world we live in, it's being moved to be episode 1 instead to get put all the eggs in one basket, as I was informed. So we're gonna try to reel people in with excitement and action, and then par it down after we realize it's too expensive to make it that way. But I have no idea what's gonna happen. This is just script phase. It's still.
Anything could happen in script phase.
Yeah, basically that was one thing. I was holding myself back in writing. I was writing on the presumption that it would have to be as low budget as possible, so I was making everything as simple as possible. But I was told, write whatever you want, and then we can bar it down after the fact, kind of thing. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's tricky because I mean, I think it's important as a writer if you're on a show that what a certain budget is, you'll write to that budget. But I mean, if you're pitching something and it could go anywhere. It's like you might as well just put everything you have into it and see. I
figured I was trying to write within reason to be like, I know, like I'm probably going to be the one to animate this or something. So I'm just like, this is going to be done with stick figures, It's just like there.
I know. So anything I write is like 2 characters in the woods. There's lots of bushes.
There's no technology in sight. Cars are heard in the distance, but not seen.
Chairs keep changing perspective and height.
Coffee cups are held backwards.
Pretty much.
We got, was it?
Oh, I was just going to say really quickly that speaking of writing, I don't know if you got that email I sent you, but this month is hashtag NaNoWriMo. It's National.
What?
Wait, NaNoWriMo.
You got this.
National November Writing Month. So I think that's right. Anyway, it's a challenge a bunch of writers are taking on where from November 1st to November 30th, everybody's going to try and write the first pass of a novel or a script or whatever it is they've been dying to work on. And then every day you just kind of write your letter count and hashtag NaNoWriMo.
Oh, you have to write your letter count?
Yeah. So I kept seeing people putting numbers down. Yeah, I kept seeing people putting like 1,263 hashtag NaNoWriMo, and I'm just like, what is this?
They're not called it Write-Vember or something like that.
It's NaNoWriMo, I think.
What does it stand for again?
National November Writing Month. I think.
I still can't picture that in my head.
I had no idea what I was looking at. I was like, what is it, the robot talking?
Okay, so apparently National November Writing Month is happening. Katie sent me the emails about it. I haven't had a chance to look at it just yet.
I only heard about it because our pal Raina is working on her next book after the Sis tour is over, after promoting her book Sisters.
Hey!
She was on the road with Kazu promoting the next Amulet. But yeah, she was mentioning, oh, NaNoWriMo, going to work on my next book. I was just like, what is this thing?
But Inktober is just so much trendier. I'm sorry.
No,
couldn't the writers come up with a better acronym?
I was gonna say, but
yeah. I'll look into it and figure out what that stuff out is. But I was too busy looking into it because I was too busy writing a script. So I'm sorry, I couldn't write a script. What else would I write though for this thing?
It's not the same thing. I can't do Inktober because I'm so busy drawing. And then I'm on Tumblr for an hour, just like I could have been drawing.
Yeah. Well, you know, like let's quickly jump into the chat. We got Bruno saying hello, and we say hello, welcome to the show. What's up with you? And we'll get to Tyler's thing in a second because that will be a whole other tangent. But yeah, no. So if you guys are the writing side of this, I know there's all these like great artists out there just making all these drawings. But if you don't have the pen, the pen in your blood, the ink. But you do have the keys on your fingers. I don't know what the metaphor is. Apparently, it's Write a Doable month. So get yourselves right. If you have that one story in the back of your head, which you're like, man, someday it will grace paper with my words, then this is the time. Get on Twitter.
Even if all you can write is a half a page or something, it's a first draft. First draft is just for you. Just bang it out, and you can fix it later. Just kind of put it all out there.
I know, like, for some people, a blank page is scary. For me, it's like an opportunity for sarcasm, because I just write the dumbest things. I'm just like, guy walks into a room. This is a nice room I'm in. And it's just like, that's how it starts.
Well, that's great. I think for me, it's just like, oh god, I don't want to waste this drawing.
Yeah.
It takes so
it's
long.
brutal, because I'll just delete it all at the end. But it's just so, like, I was just reading one offhand one that I just found recently. It was just like that, where it's like, he enters a train. This is a train I'm on! I'm just like, I don't know what else the scene is about. It's just like, this is awful. I should just record it someday and listen to myself more on.
Awesome. If you want to read a good writing, you've got good stuff. But I was
go to neilgaiman.com and you can read good writing.
I was just going to say, like, reading the Hawkeye comics again, Matt Fraction's dialogue is
right,
so
we segued
good.
off that. Yes.
Yeah. Like, I was just a quick little thing, but, like, I don't know, his character writing is so good. Like, I love it. It's fresh. I don't know, what do they call it? All these things are, like, bursting with youthful energy. It's just a really good book.
Well, that's what I liked about the Hawkeye, the first two I read. It's just like, once again, I don't avoid superhero because it's like, superhero, that's so mainstream. I tend to avoid it because it's like a lot of the stories, and I don't want to generalize, but like, people are like, oh my god, you got to read Batman Dark Halloween, or oh my god, the New 52 and Robin dies, whatever it is, and I'm just reading this, and it's just kind of like shit is just happening. And then a new supervillain shows up every other issue. Because I know if you buy it like weekly or monthly, it's like, oh, it's exciting. And this one, it's Penguin, and this one's that guy. But when you read it in one sitting, you're like, so many bad guys showed up in such a brief time and got dealt with so quickly, and I don't care anymore. What I love about Hawkeye is it takes it down to such a kind of like mundane level of him just like...
Yeah, with the Hawkeye, it's like I almost don't want the superhero stuff to happen because I'm just enjoying the quiet moments because the dialogue of someone just, running around doing something in New York or in LA, and this one is just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it plays a big part of it where it's like the supervillains come in, you gotta fight them, but like the writing's so good.
It's fun. It's what I like about it. It's the same thing I love about friggin' Saga. It's just like there's fantastical things happening,
absolutely.
but it's on such a casual level of acceptance. Like people deal with it the way you foresee you would actually deal with stuff. Like
and I love Rat Queens for that too. I don't think I would be as harsh and crude as the main lady characters are in that, but I find the dialogue just super good, and I just love those characters. They're so fun.
Yeah. Going back about the writing thing, Matthew Pichard saying, "Go Shaggy, write a story. You can do it." There's one I'm contemplating doing as a novelization because I've had a bajillion series stacking up all my life. I'm just like, I'm never going to make these. So there's one I'm contemplating writing as a novel and then like seeing what I do with it. Because I'm not traditionally really a novel writer. I tend to like writing for an adaptive medium, for something that's more visual or audible. Just because like I like I know that it's a bit of a generalization, but I've never been a fan of reading like prose that's all
I
like
think you.
describing everything in the room where it's
Yeah,
like
but
the
that's
teapot was like this and the curtains were like that. I'm like, I don't care.
that's a style of writing though, and if you're not a fan of that, there's probably writers I think you'd really enjoy if you read a book by someone with that kind of style. Like you enjoy J.K. Rowling, where she's just telling you exactly what's happening, and she's
Yeah,
got
I
a
was like,
funny
tell us
voice.
straight, JK. That's why I like you.
Yeah, I mean, you might not like to read R. Martin's Game of Thrones series where he describes the food for 10 pages. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. You're just like, get on with it.
You
So
know,
I
like,
mean,
why is the food there? What purpose does it serve? Will someone eat it? Will it be spilt on the floor? I'm like, I don't know why it's there.
mm. I
Um,
think you should give it a chance. You just need to find an author you really enjoy.
Douglas Adams.
Yeah,
He will always hold my heart.
yeah, or
Favorite
Terry
guy.
Pratchett.
Yeah, Terry Pratchett. That being said, I've never actually read Terry Pratchett. I've listened to like a whole
It's a
bunch of
fun
his
read.
things.
It's all the asides are really fun.
We have Tyler Mann saying, when the vote of 2, no one's beaten 3 yet, so whoever was that is still winning. Saying Big Hero 6 is Friday. Also, don't get the soundtrack earlier. The track titles ruins the movie and the ending.
Oh, ooh, yeah, good point.
So if the last track was like, it was this guy all along, you're like, hey, shit.
Yeah.
Why did I
So
care?
dies. You're like,
Ah, balls. Actually, speaking of names, this will be a segue into something else. Okay, quickly, Big Hero 6, check it out. Also, Day of the Dead, Book of Life Magic,
life.
Book of Life, check that out. I haven't seen either
That
yet.
looks awesome.
Speaking of titles, this is like my other segue. So I'm playing new Assassin's Creed's coming out soon. Assassin's Creed Unity. I've kind of fallen off the Assassin's Creed series for a while, just because like when I got into them, I did like a bunch of them at once. I did 1, followed by 2, followed by Brotherhood, followed by Revelations, and that was kind of like Assassin's Creed out for a good while. So only now have I finally opened up my copy of Assassin's Creed 3,
Yeah.
which I can give you guys a whole review on if you want in a bit.
Ooh, yes. Let me just grab a tea then if you're going to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't going to do that now, but
The
point is...
I'll be right back.
I guess this won't be for Katie to hear, but for you guys. And the point is, there's one thing that delighted me in it. I know some people are kind of hit and miss with this particular installment in the game. A lot of people criticize it's like a lot. There's so much tutorial. The whole like first 10 hours is tutorial or whatever, which I could see why that'd be a problem. It's like you're learning to do boats, now you're learning to chase animals, now you're learning to hunt, now you're learning to climb, now you're learning to send people off to do courier jobs, now you're learning to send your assassins out to do these jobs. And it's just like there's just so much micromanaging to a degree. But the one thing that delighted me, if you've played this so far, is when you get the achievement called "How do you like them apples?" And if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. And when I got to that point, I was like, ah! That's my review of Assassin's Creed. I wish Kate didn't leave because I was going to talk about stuff. Oh well. If you guys have questions, comments, of course, the chat at the Google Plus is right here. It's not even a chat; it's a Q&A. Please answer my question board, where sometimes you post things and sometimes we answer them. You can also vote. Are you back? Or at the door? I hear you thumping around. What's going on? Earphones? Earphones? Earphones! No? Okay. You back? Hello? Get it! Jolly good. She'll get back. But yeah, Big Hero 6 is coming out this weekend, of course. I've intentionally been kind of avoiding because I just want to be delighted by everything. Sometimes I like going to the movie fresh, not knowing nothing, just kind of getting the whole experience. So I'm curious to see what that's like with Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Good. I don't want to say too much about Assassin's Creed 3 because like I already kind of had my rant today with David.
Okay.
And we're not here to learn about game design, so.
Oh, was there problems with it?
No, not necessarily problems. It's just like it has. Okay, yes, there's problems. The point is
because this isn't an industry I'm going to work in, so please do.
Fair enough. Well, the point is the Assassin's Creed series often has had a problem with cohesion as far as like the narrative of the character versus what you do in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It'll like especially in this particular game, it'll do things like. Your character will basically, it's an Assassin's Creed game where you just massacre soldiers en masse. But then, like in the cutscene, you'll be like, oh, your plan is to kill. This is not the way to freedom and stuff like that.
Oh,
and then after that, you go on and massacre people en masse and stuff. You're just like, it's the balance of action gameplay and the nobility of the character are at heads with each other all the damn time. Where it's just
is this mass murder?
Yeah, and it's just like it doesn't add up sometimes. And it's just so blatant that like whenever it's this problem where a lot of games have where like during the cutscenes they try to make your character like noble and
Well,
like
yeah, because
have
I remember that
feelings.
when Jerry was playing it, it's like every time you assassinate someone, they're kind of like, but is this the right thing to do? They give you some moral lesson, I think. You're
Yeah.
just, and then you go back and like stab 100 people.
Meh. He's like, I'm beginning to question our learnings. He's like, stop questioning it. Okay, stop. And then like the biggest thing that always pisses me off is like when you take out like a bajillion hapless soldiers, then when you get to like the big boss who's been running it,
Who's
and you
the
spare him,
worst guy?
you spare him because you're like, there's been enough bloodshed this day. I'm like, dude, you just massacre like guys who are just Batman thugs trying to make a buck to feed their family. Yet the
Yeah.
guy who's orchestrated this whole thing, you got to be like all noble and be like, no, killing must end. And it's just like the dude's gonna stab you as soon as you turn around. Then he falls off the cliff, so it's not your fault. And then
Oh,
it's that thing where
classic.
you reach the hand
Classic
to save him.
Disney villain death.
Yeah. And it's like when they reject being saved. And I'm like, come on, to make you seem like you tried. And I'm like, oh, this is.
Assassin. The whole point is your
No, your job, your description is killing everyone you see. That being said, in a 3 they kind of changed the controls around where it's like you can only really target bad guys and this and that. But when I discovered that if you hold like the run mode, then they finally allow you to tackle just anybody you want. So I spent like half an hour knocking all these fishermen into the ocean. It was awesome. I would like sneak around, pet a dog in the head, and just go Wah! And just like dive at this guy and knock him in, and everyone's like looking at me. I'm like, what? Well, he looks like he wants to swim. What's everyone complaining about? And they just tackle someone right after. It's not illegal in the game. You don't get penalized for tackling folk or knocking them into the ocean. So you're like, all right.
Just because they haven't made a law of it yet.
Yeah, I found a new way to play Assassin's Creed 3.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to the new one. We got Yaiba saying, so on soundtrack, do you guys have a favorite soundtrack? Okay, let me do my rundown. Some of my favorite soundtracks are Katamari Damacy. That's some of the best mixed music between the first one and Everyone Loves Katamari. Jet Set Radio, the original one. I love that soundtrack. And was there any other I listened to frequently? Those are like my... the one for Metropolis from the anime film, the anime adaptation of the Tezuka film, Metropolis. And there's one more soundtrack that's like my favorite. What is it?
Abenobashi?
I don't listen to that one so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
God, what is it? There's lately I tend to just go into like songs and listen to friggin' oh god, the genre just left me. It's like the steampunk music. What's it called? The
Electro Swing. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the moment, beyond that, I don't really have any contemporary soundtracks. Katie, soundtracks.
I mean, I guess I guess there are some that I keep listening to over and over again. It changes up seasonally. Now that we're hitting winter and it's all depressing and dark out, I like to crack out the Iron and Wine and listen to that because that always reminds me of living in Ottawa in the winter. Usually my work mix is a little bit of it's movie scores, so it's Clint Mansell, Moon, and The Fountain. And then there's a lot of Howard Shore. You got your Lord of the Rings, all that. There's Hans Zimmer, Gladiator.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I thought he did Pirates. Yeah, he did do Pirates, right? Yeah, Pirates. And then a bunch of Celtic music. A ton of Lorena McKennitt and Celtic Twilight. And yeah, that's kind of the stuff I tend to put on when I'm working late. It's just either like the really sad score music or like the really pretty flowy music. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm listening to right now.
Oh, I have like the Paprika soundtrack too, which has some like great stuff. I
haven't heard that one.
It's an interesting soundtrack. It's got some weird interest. Like the guy who did all the music for all those movies had like phenomenal, bizarre sense, especially like for the intro theme for Paranoia Agent and stuff like that. It's just all of it's very surreal, parade-esque, ethereal. I don't even know what to describe it as. Just people yelling and reverb and stuff, and it's like so it matches the dream state of all of the films. Like, especially in Paprika. It's a phenomenal visual to audio mix.
Yeah. And speaking of anime soundtracks, I like to listen to the Abenobashi one. I like to listen to Last Exile. And, what's that other one called with the What's the one with the girls all living kind of in the walled city and they have the wings? The
Oh,
dolphins.
Hibernate Renmei.
Irony Renmei, yeah, that one's really nice.
Those, cause basically back when Pioneer was still doing stuff, like now there's not too many anime games in town, but Pioneer was releasing like all these albums to the animes they distributed. So like we love watching Last Exile and Hibernate Renmei, so we also get the soundtrack. And I was just ordering in soundtracks for like Abanabashi was great. It's just I like the kind of mixed genre series that have like a lot of different stuff kind of happening. So there's like different tones. Because in Abanabashi, each episode was a different genre. So their soundtrack has like chase, martial arts, sci-fi, noir, like just a whole mix of different stuff.
A very Star Wars sounding.
Yeah, and it's the same like orchestra and music behind Evangelion. So there's a lot of like nods and parody of that, since the whole show is kind of like a joke on anime culture. So you can hear a lot of like Evangelion type music in it, the very neo and underground Tokyo type stuff. Yeah, no, anime soundtracks usually like because I grew up like anime soundtracks was like what I always listened to. I had like the Ranma.
Yeah.
Back when we went to the Chinese mall that was on Dundas and Mississauga, I would randomly find like anime soundtracks that were like the stuff we were watching. It was all in Japanese, so and they like doubled up all the tracks, so they would have on the back like 70 songs because it's incidental music that's all on the same track. So like track 2 would have 3 kind of like 20-second songs on it, and track 4 would have like a longer. And the interesting thing was that kind of influenced like my writing, because I would listen to music and start to disassociate it from its context of the show it was in, and then I'd come up with new things that would be applied to that music. Like, what else could happen during this scene?
Yeah.
What is this moment? And that was when I wrote that radio play, Charlie Branton, In Trouble at the Dock, was based on the music of the Metropolis anime soundtrack. Because it was just there was so many different types of music.
Like, oh, here's a good soundtrack for like meeting the big boss. Here's a good soundtrack for getting confronted by all the bad guys. Here's a good soundtrack for kind of like a that was really good. So
like in a way, here if this is no right doesn't sound good. Right November. No Remo, write a bunch. If this is Write a Bunch November, my challenge to you guys to add to it is grab like 7 random songs, put them in some sort of order, and write a story based on that, and see narratively what the music tells you about the scene and what's happening. Even if it's like meant as a parody of that use of music, like this would be completely inappropriate for this moment, but this is what's happening, So it's like a guy is like mixing an egg, and it's like King Arthur type music, like da, 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 dum. And it's like, why would that be happening during eggs? But then you start thinking, is it like really intense while he's making these eggs, or is he a race against time to make eggs? Is it in a food competition he's making these eggs, or is this child really picky about what he eats and he's got 5 minutes to get to school? So
or is this the story about the chicken?
Yeah. And it's the narrative really starts off like, this is the day I died. And it's like, what? It's like one of those movies. This is how I died, and it's like an explosion that freezes, and the camera goes around it, like that one with it was that weird movie with the guy from the Fast and Furious movies, and like Hogarth and stuff like that. What's his name? I keep forgetting.
Oh, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Diesel, and he's with some girl who's like not the girl from that.
Oh, her.
What's that? No. What's it? I'm trying to combine thoughts, and I can't remember the names of the things. Remember Minority Report had the girl who's like all psychic, and she's like, "Run, stop, balloons," whatever.
Yeah.
There's a movie with Vin Diesel and a girl like that, but this explosion stops in front of her. It's like, and he's like, "This is how I died," and I'm like, "Ah!"
Super
how I react to trailers. Well, what soundtracks do you guys listen to, and have you written anything to soundtracks that were your own original creation?
I've drawn to soundtracks before. I find they're great for just coming up with ideas or characters. So.
Yeah. Quickly, we got Jim saying Ubisoft, going back to my complaints about character actions not matching with the narrative of who they're telling you they're supposed to be. Where it's basically like, oh, he's such a hero, he's a great guy. Meanwhile, like, you're just knocking shit. It's like The Legend of Zelda. Everyone's like, oh, Link, the hero of time. Meanwhile, I'm just breaking pots, backflipping across fences, throwing chickens off waterfalls.
Those are my favorite little webcomics when people make when they tell those stories where he just breaks into a guy's house and breaks all his pots.
Yeah. But anyway. So Ubisoft seems to be like doing that. Your character in Watch Dogs is supposed to be a good guy, but the game encourages you to be a horrible douche who steals from innocent people.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like he's saving the world. Meanwhile, he's like extracting money from everyone's bank accounts and stuff. And you're like, what a hero!
That's terrible.
I want one in every home. What a hero! It's great.
Like what people want now is the anti-hero. Like he's just a dick.
Yeah. He's above the law. He's under the law. He's all around the law. What a hero! Saving the computer.
Is that a quote for something like that? It's all around the law.
I don't know. We got Courtney Lunn saying, I was on a Ghibli kick today and listened to 2-hour-long orchestrated concert of Ghibli songs. That's fantastic listening if you haven't yet. It's got some basically I love the Howl's Moving Castle soundtrack. And if you get to hear that orchestrated, it's just beautiful. It's just so jaunty. That's the right one, right?
Wait.
Maybe not. Is that one? Or is that Kiki? Kiki's dun 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 dun. Basically, a couple times I've been to Anime Extreme, they were playing that soundtrack. So it's like the jazz Ghibli soundtrack, and it's got like a jazzy swing to Kiki and stuff like that. It's great.
I think the one I kind of get confused. I'll never I love the opening to Mononoke. That one's just really like.
That's great. I love it, but there's one weird synth that bothers me. It's like, is this Blade Runner? Because it's just like. I
like it.
I'm just like, why is that? Am I at Laser Quest? Like, what is this?
Yeah, it makes me feel like.
I'm like, is that the traditional Japanese synth sound you find in nature? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
It's just gonna go like right after from Blade Runner.
Giving me chills. I love that soundtrack.
Just a quick note on soundtracks. I was thinking about this a little while too. Me, Katie, and our dad used to play this board game called Dark World or something like that all the damn time. It's basically D&D Light. It's a board game where the guy running the game has this sword with marbles on it, which decides turn order, and you just go through rooms as archer, mage, dwarf, cool guy, and just getting treasure and shit. But every time we played this RPG game, we did it to the soundtrack of Blade Runner. So that music is ingrained in fantasy mythology for me. So it brings me to the question: if we did a fantasy story with noir neo music, would that be an interesting mix?
Oh, I love it. It would be like Lady Hawk all over again.
Freaking synth rock.
I like fantasy noir though. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, because there's dark fantasy, and also if you play games like Shadows of Mordor, that's grim, gritty Lord of the Rings, a take on Lord of the Rings. But a noir fantasy would be at the bar, the light, it'd be dark and the shades of the light are coming through of the window, fixing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is dark fantasy. I feel is something that is kind of very intricate to part of fantasy. I mean, Game of Thrones is really friggin' dark. A lot of stuff I listen to is really friggin' dark.
But
a lot of audiobooks I read. So, but I mean, taking it in a different direction, making it it's kind of neat.
It's kind of music at the
mysteries.
Bar. It's I'm looking for a bard.
Play bots come through here.
Yeah. And it's he's just wiping down the table of orc blood or whatever it is. Why come by here? Why would it be any different? An elf told me. Then it gets to the point where you just give them all friggin' nice hats and zoot suits and stuff. You're just that's no longer fantasy. This guy's with pointy ears.
Oh, orcs and zoot suits. Oh my god, no, the elves are gangsters. Ah.
Ah, see. Looks like you're coming to get a golden wheat, see, and a magic mithril. Boys, he wants some mithril. Well, boy, you found the right place, but you're in the wrong time. Ha! I don't know what this is.
That's the stuff I like, where it's because fantasy is old world, but it's what if all those different cool races of beings never stayed on, so we still have dwarves and elves and fairies and stuff in the 40s or something.
And there's probably there's a lot of independent authors who probably I think I've been to some Comic-Con talks of stuff like this with hybrid fantasy, and there's the one I think you listened to. I saw the author talk before a Gravity Falls panel 2 years ago, and it was one where it's ghosts and detectives and it's humor I forget what it was called, but it's like a noir comedy fantasy.
Oh, it's the Dresden Files.
Is that it? It might have been the Dresden Files.
I think so. It's more. I think it's more recent, but he's a wizard that solves mysteries.
Yeah, something like that. And like there's zombies and stuff.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I read the first.
It's a zombie detective. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe. I know the Dresden Files. I picked up the first book, and it was something that I read in a day because I was just super.
Try reading a book for once when I try that. Going back to finishing what Courtney was saying about Ghibli soundtracks is, other than that, I love listening to Fallout 3 or the Flower Game soundtrack. I put some of the Fallout 3 music in our Halloween playlist. So like after like this is Halloween and all that stuff, we'd have I don't want to set the world on fire. It's kind of like a nice. Let's take this party down a notch, folks.
I enjoyed that soundtrack.
The Fallout 3 soundtrack's really fun, and as I explained, I listened to it a lot because I watched the entirety of Kill Everything in Fallout 3 on YouTube, which is basically 20+ episodes of this British guy playing Fallout and making sure he kills every NPC in the world he can. And it is a treat, if not a little disturbed, but it is a journey, and you get to get used to all of these songs because there's only like really 20 songs on that soundtrack. So, you know, it'll do stuff like, what was the other one? Maybe I'm crazy, like that's on there, and you know, keep hacking and whacking and smacking, all these weird songs. A lot of people commented in the last few bits. Let me get to you guys quickly before you guys delete your comments through fear. We got Free Talking. Saying, I'm super excited for Dragon Age Inquisition and the reboot 3rd gen Pokemon game coming out in a month. What are you guys excited for? Smash Bros!
Yeah, I guess.
8 players. I played it. I was at the event.
That sounds crazy.
8 players, and on it from Melee, little town from Earthbound, Mother, whichever you want to call it. 8 Ganondorfs running around on it. Oh my god. This game's going to be hype. It's the best game ever. Game of the year.
I've seen a lot of really funny art from it already, with like Ganon and all the little characters just running around.
Yeah. Oh, that was cute. Yeah. No, game of the year. Game of the year right now. Best game. I'm not even kidding. I played way too much of it at that Nintendo event. I was just like, let's go throw away the DS version. Who needs it? We. It's gonna be great. I got Tyler Mann saying my soundtrack choices are Wall-E, beautifully atmospheric.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And Lego Movie for the electronic orchestra. And most recently, Fantasia Music Evolved, which I believe is from a game on the Xbox with the Kinect, for the awesome style, remixes, and classical music.
Those are all excellent choices.
Yeah, Wall-E was really. I love the Wall-E soundtrack. It was good.
Wall-E's beautiful. It's something that when we went to Wonderland in the summer, me and Jack Bass and Leslie Doyle and Jen, we were watching the water show going at the end when they have all the water sprinkling in front of the mountain, and they were playing just different Disney and Pixar movies, and they started off Wall-E, and I was just like, what is this? Because I forgot what it was from, but it's just such a beautiful soundtrack. It's just so gorgeous, like the space kind of thing. It's weird that they would have it because they're not licensed for them, but it was just.
They're not Paramount anymore either, right? So they don't have like SpongeBob running
around.
Or do they?
Wait, no, they're.
Paramount owns Nickelodeon, so they have.
They now?
It used to be Hanna-Barbera themed back in the day.
Not Hanna-Barbera anymore. It's Gosh, what do they have? Some.
It's like Peanuts.
I can't even picture it. I think it's like Snoopy and stuff. I don't know.
Fucking Heathcliff, the cat, or something. Just like.
That takes me back.
Just getting anything.
What do we got? Who's an animal?
It's like, well, we got those Canadian PSAs about not doing drugs. Let's turn those guys into characters. It's great.
Where's those 2 bunnies? The
cute guys bunnies with knee pads and stuff. Yeah, okay, perfect. Mascots. Who doesn't love them? Doris is saying I gravitate more towards Practical Magic soundtrack. Not sure which one that is. And Ferngully, insert 90s Disney soundtracks like Aladdin, Hercules, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, etc. Never written anything, but I've drawn stuff in results of the moods to put me in.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people do say that, like even when you're scripting, like listen to music that's similar to the mood of what you're writing, I guess. You know, so if like you're like fight scene, you're like, let's go through all the Huns, and we're like, wait, is it a giant battle or is it a close quarters like gun kata? You know, and then you're like, all right, totally. Equilibrium really soundtrack or orcs fighting soundtrack, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it definitely helps you out when you're working on something. I found like if I'm working on something kind of more fantasy-esque, I'd usually listen to more fantasy soundtrack music. So yeah, it's a lot of good options.
Doris also says, if it's video games, I'm partial towards old school Mario and Kingdom Hearts, which I myself listened to a lot of Kingdom Hearts back in the day. I didn't get too much into the second soundtrack because I didn't play that game so much, but the first one, there's any of the orchestrated pieces are fantastic.
Yeah, is it simple and sweet? Simple and sweet is the way that you
it just depends on what catches your attention and stays with you for years.
Yeah.
Cool. Tyler saying Wonderland is Cedar Fair and Snoopy. I don't know what Cedar Fair is.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Cedar Fair is. Matt Pritchard saying some video games have really awesome soundtracks like Kingdom Hearts and Super Mario Galaxy. Galaxy had a great soundtrack. As I mentioned a little while ago, I didn't play Galaxy really when I first had the access to the Wii. I got as far as the B level, then I'm like, enough of this. But then a month or two ago, I spent 2 days playing it and doing everything. So I'm like, I have the days off. I'm just going to beat this game 100%. And I did everything. I beat it once. I went back, did all the coin stuff, unlocked the Luigi, and then I couldn't play it again because I'm like, I can't redo it a third freaking time, whatever it is. But yeah, it was an extremely charming game. I didn't care for it the first time I played because it felt really linear to me because it's oh, you're on this island, now you're over here, now you're on this one, now you're over here. But going back is a little more open form. There's still very linear parts of it, but it's also one of the most confusing games to play because once you're playing upside down and forward is backwards and backwards is forwards, then you're just a mess. You're dodging bullets, and I'm trying to collect, all these purple coins that I have to get exactly on. Getting those purple coin challenges almost ended me. It was brutal. But if you do enjoy Mario Galaxy, I do recommend checking out Game Theory because they have a special on Rosalina, whatever her name is. He has a two-parter about her and who she is, and it is fascinating, the theory it is. Be sure to check that out. We got Jim Crone saying Sword of the Stranger had some pretty good music. Also, it's a pretty decent movie in general. If you like Princess Mononoke, you might like it. Sword of the Stranger. What is that? Sword of the Stranger. I'll probably forget what that is. Cool. How's your stuff coming along on your end?
It's alright. Just plug it away.
Yes. Good plugging away, so I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Oh! We can go back a bit about our comic pickups because we keep talking about Hawkeye. So this weekend, right after Halloween, you and Selena kind of went nuts at the comic.
Yeah.
What's your recommendations for comic hunters this holiday season?
Gosh, there's so many great books out there. Oh, I should almost just pull up that photo to just name stuff. If you follow me on Twitter, just look at one of the recent pictures I posted. And there's a ton of stuff. So I haven't read everything yet, but there's a lot of really good books out there. I just finished Hawkeye, LA Woman by Matt Fraction, the writer, and the artists are... There's two artists on this one, Annie Wu and... where's the other artist? I think... I can't find the other name. Yeah, sorry. Okay, somewhere. Annie Wu's artist, I'm loving it so much. Matt Fraction's writing is great. There's a ton of stuff. I picked up Wayward by Jim Zub. I picked up Miss Marvel. I picked up a bunch of French books that I've really been loving. Last Man, Beautiful Darkness, the English translation, Beauty, the English translation by Karis, the French comic duo artist Kara Scoet is their online or their name handle. I don't know, there's a ton of stuff. Just see what fancies you, and there's so much out there. We're lucky that we have a shop like the Big Island that carries so many great different titles that you could just go nuts in there. And it was great going with Selena because we spent 2 hours in there just slowly looking over everything in the shelves, finding things we might have missed. It was great. And then after that we went to Little Island, which is an awesome all-ages comic shop and really close to the Big Island in Toronto as well.
The other thing I picked up on that trip was the latest Bride story finally came out.
Oh, man.
Karamori, I believe that's the name. It's one of the most beautifully detailed series, along with Emma, about Turkish happenings, kind of stuff going on in nomadic lifestyles, sheep and things. But it's I'm awful describing it. But the point is, check it out. It's just I've been waiting for this release in a while. It is fantastic. My recommendation, yes, is Bride Story. Go check it out.
Good.
Give it a read-a-roo. Free Talking saying, I want a Black Widow movie more than breathing.
Yeah. Please.
I don't know if that's in response to Yaiba saying, any of the movies in the Avengerverse that particularly that you're interested in? Yeah, like, Black Widow would be interesting, I guess. Like,
I would love Black Widow.
I was trying to think, like, I'm actually, you know what, more than the Avengerverse and movies, I just want to see Terry Crews play Luke Cage in the Netflix series. That is like my own, like, they could make all the Avenger movies they want, but all I want is more Terry. And if he can play this character who basically he's stated many times he's willing to do and wants to do, and all the world seems to want him to do it, as long as his scheduling works, I would love to see him play Luke Cage, and like we could all have a good time on Netflix.
Yeah.
That would be a treat.
I love that, man. I want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah. Let's get him in the damn Avengers somehow.
I know. He's got good range. He could be insanely crazy and also like pretty straight dude.
Yeah. So that's my Marvel hopes. Beyond that, I'm just like, just let Marvel do whatever they're doing. Like they seem to know stuff. Like they announced, Benedict Cumberbatch would be Doctor Strange. I'm like, I don't even give a shit about Doctor Strange. So that sounds great. So I don't know anything about that character except that he does this and has a beard or a mustache or both. That's about it. He's a doctor, maybe. He's got magic.
I think so.
Yeah. If Marvel can make me care about Iron Man, which they did way back in the day,
yeah,
that movie with the Robert Downey,
yeah,
and maybe they can strike gold with this crazy Doctor Strange fellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I give them the benefit of all doubts because like they've made so many.
I gotta say, like and I mean, as much as I love comics, I do feel like it's the Marvel movies that got me back into superhero comics, just because they were so fun. And I know some people were like, but the movies, like you should watch the movies, you should read the comics. I'm like, well, they both exist for like but like I kind of had stepped away from superhero comics for a long time, and I was like, oh, I like these characters. This is fun. Let's see what's happening in the superhero world.
I don't have too much else going on. I kind of covered all my life. Do you have anything left?
No, I'm just kind of plugging away on stuff here. Let me get off of screen share.
I might have to wrap me up soon unless you guys have some amazing questions, because we've already passed the hour. Now we're just treading water. Yeah,
because basically I finished all my extra side projects, so all I really have going is finishing Silly Kingdom and just my regular storyboard work. So just kind of plugging away, just making sure I keep on top of stuff. And then we can get into more printing and promoting. But right now, first I gotta finish inking the sucker.
Nice. We got Yaiba saying, speaking of, how about The Hobbit? Excited? Did there need to be 3 movies? I subtitled this Hobbit called The Hobbit, let's just get it over with.
Kind of.
We're all just out of obligation going to go to the theater and be like, all right.
I mean, I really enjoyed the world, but I felt like in the last movie there were parts where I was kind of just like, I'm having fun, but come on now.
Yeah.
Let's just move this forward.
Because, like, The Lord of the Rings had its beats. Like, there's some parts a little slow, but, like, it's like, I can define what happened in each movie. And this one, I'm just like, at one point they're in barrels, another point in the woods, and then another point there's a dragon, and then they spend all this time trying to get a dragon and the gold.
Oh yeah, that's actually annoying me. Like the dragon shenanigans was kind of felt a little bit too much.
There was a bear in the field or something. It was a bigger than normal bear, maybe. I'm just like, I'm just happy.
I've said this before though. I'm happy just to hang out in that world. So I'm like, just make as many movies, make the Silmarillion, just keep making. I'll just hang out. It's a nice Christmas treat. It's a nice start to winter. I find it's a good Middle Earth movie.
Sure, why not?
A PJ's Middle Earth adventure.
Good. I don't know. Let's just say I'm not necessarily excited. I'm just like, oh, it's that time again. I guess we better go back to the theater and watch it.
I mean, I just for the Lord of the Rings movie and the first Hobbit, I saw all of those opening day, and then I think the second Hobbit, I think I saw it 5 weeks in, where I was like, oh gosh, I should see this. Yeah, I don't know. It's all good.
Yeah, keep doing them. Just whatever. not the most enthused response. It was like, yeah, they're doing it, so good on them. I'll have it. Cool. Well, I don't really have too much else to talk on. I've got nothing really. Wait, we got Jim Crow saying Peter Jackson draws out chase scenes way too long. That barrel scene was pretty much a movie by itself.
Yeah, I'd say just trim some stuff. Just trim it a little bit.
Yeah, you can do some editing, yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing else.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna say what's happening this week? Royal Winter Fair, I think, is starting soon in Toronto, so if you want to see fun farm animals and cool other stuff and whatnots, I'm not really selling this thing too well. But if you like a nice festival in Toronto, it's happening at the exhibition down an exhibition place, so it's a good time. So if you're an artist, it's a good chance to come out and draw animals and lots of people, and they have really good apple strudel snack things.
Do you have any apple strudel snacks? Like anything? Wait, do you still have my chips and dip upstairs?
Oh, we got so many leftover snacks. It's really bad.
I need
there was a bucket full of chocolate, like full-size bars, and I was just eating them, and I couldn't stop. And I was like,
you have full-size bars?
I was like, if I eat them all now, then I can start fresh tomorrow and get back to being healthy.
I may head out there to get some, because I am in the mood for snacks.
I can't have snacks in the house. Like, we don't buy snacks, because whenever me and Jerry buy snacks, we'll eat it that day.
Yeah.
Within the hour. Like a whole...
I can't tell you how many nights it's been like 12 o'clock. I'm like, I really want some chips and dip, but I left them upstairs at Katie's place, and I'm like,
aww.
I shouldn't like bang on their door right now and be like, have my chips back.
There's like a 7-Eleven, or like you can go to some 24-hour place, convenience store.
But it's so close to go grab them from upstairs.
But we're all asleep.
No, that's why it's a struggle, because I'm playing Assassin's Creed till like 4 in the morning, and I'm just like, I want chips.
Is this why you can't sleep? Because you're playing Assassin's Creed till 4 in the morning?
No, I only started that recently to like battle the sleep deprivation.
Right.
More gameplay.
Oh boy.
We got Tyler, man. We'll call this last question unless something really amazing happens. I gotta get some food. Saying, what cons will you be going to this season, and will you be doing panels or anything?
This season we're not doing too much. We wanted to take a break and get some work done. But the only convention we've signed up for is TCAF, so we'll see how that goes. Because I know it's getting really highly competitive, and they're really like, if you have a new book, we'll prioritize, but not everyone's going to get into that one.
Yeah.
If we don't get into that one, we might just go check out San Diego as a fun thing. But we're not really doing a tour right now, just because we're trying to build up some projects. And I love the traveling, but it does take a little bit out of you when you need to hustle on a project.
Are you back?
Yeah.
Did you freeze or did I freeze?
Oh, do one of us freeze? I don't know.
You froze on my screen, but I don't know if like I froze.
Oh, well, if you guys didn't hear me, just TCAF probably.
Long and the short of it, just
I'll simplify that. Just TCAF this year. Maybe San Diego.
We got Doris saying, I would contribute more, but I don't feel I have anything relevant to say. Relevant to your theme, per se, I guess. Yep. Well, that seems to wrap things up nicely. That describes how we all feel. So, can you show what you've been working on, or is it secret?
Yeah, so you guys have watched me like slowly work on a panel per episode, but we're almost on this page.
What's happening?
We're almost done. He's reading a book. Right now it just says unicorn. I was trying to think of something funnier, but what's a good idea for like a unicorn handbook?
Is there a pun with like Una or corn?
I'm thinking like Unicornopedia or something.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
That's how our writing works, folks. We'll call one shot. That's all you got. It's a chance to write a comic. They said we both froze, and Tyler I think it's because Tyler refreshed that we froze. So don't refresh your stream when you're watching, because then it screws us all over. I don't know, I'm just making that up. Cool. Well, that's about everything. I think we have to live a little more, a couple more stuff to talk about next week, of course. But otherwise, if you want to stay in touch with everything we do, Twitters and Tumblrs, Katie Shy. And you want to go to the Shanahanigans website, SHAN. IGANS, and that will have stuff on it and links and a store. That is also the same thing you want to go to on Facebook. Be sure to like that page because that's where we post most of our up-to-date stuff just because we don't really post on the website unless it's a comic or something like that. So the Facebook will have all the most common information and kind of upcoming events and things. Beyond that, thekingdom.com is where we want to go for all the information. It's the Kingdom and win the book. The pre-order is there, but we're not pushing it too hard until
it's ready to go.
And once it's ready to go,
we're getting there.
We'll be there. Everybody.
Yeah, we'll definitely be very soon.
Another man says, "Grab life by the horns: a guide to the unicorn."
That's I like that.
We got horn, horses, and you from Free Talking.
Oh, I like this.
Saying, Idiot's Guide to Unicorns.
Oh, I like that.
A lot of options.
I like the idiot,
yeah. Let's see. We got one final question. Doris saying, for Katie, I once asked you for help on how to draw outside of school when you spend all your time drawing, but now I'm back in class and I'm having a hard time focusing on projects.
It does get tricky. Oh, was that a? Did I answer your question?
I think that's the answer. It gets tricky.
It does get tricky. Oh, is that all I said? I think it just comes to what it ends up coming down to is having to prioritize. I think where, if you really want to draw and you just find you don't have time, you just might have to cut back on some stuff. Where for me, I don't play video games. Like if I played video games, I would have no time to draw my own stuff. So that was something I just had to not pursue at all. So, it doesn't have to be anything as drastic if it's letting go of a hobby. But extra drawing is time consuming, so you do have to kind of try and, if you want to make the time and you're having trouble finding the time, see where you can save yourself an hour or two to just work on your own projects.
Good. I'll live by that. Now, enjoy your Right November, or whichever it's called.
NaNoWriMo.
And we want your word counts for next week. So we will be scrutinizing you. So you guys do have a deadline. So we will be sure to tell us next week how much you've written.
Mm-hmm.
This has been Shanahanigans Live, usually Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on the Eastern Standard Time. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. I gotta go read and eat things.
I gotta go finish this awesome book. Buy some comics. Support your local comic shops.
Always do that. I'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned on the Facebook. Cheers.
Bye.